Hey, what's going on, guys? This week's movie spotlight focuses on slime, proton packs, and Stay Puft Marshmallow Men. Ghostbusters is not only one of the greatest American comedy films, but it has also created a brand and a franchise that's recognized all over the world. This video will explore the history and the legacy of Ghostbusters. In the vein of the comedy genre, one property has stood the test of time, and that is the 1984 supernatural American comedy film, Ghostbusters. The film stars Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, and Rick Moranis. The movie tells the story of three out-of-work parapsychologists who started ghost-catching business in New York City. Dan Aykroyd originally conceived Ghostbusters as an SNL sketch with fellow alumnus John Belushi called Ghost Mashers. Ghost Mashers showed the two characters traveling through time and space in the future using magic wands. After Belushi's untimely death, Aykroyd rewrote the script with friend Harold Ramis to make the film feel more practical. Ghost Mashers was dramatically different from the final version of the film, but there were elements of the sketch that did make it into the movie. For instance, the Ghost Mashers wore jumpsuits, which in the original script was SWAT gear, and instead of using magic wands, they used proton packs. The characters fought were large ghosts, which was in the SNL sketch, and one of them that made it into the final screenplay was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
In addition to its similar title, the film shares the premise of professional exterminators on a paranormal mission with the Bowery Boys' slapstick comedy, Spookbusters, the 1946 directed film by William Bodine, as well as with the 1937 Disney short, Lonesome Ghosts. Lonesome Ghosts included the line, "I ain't scared of no ghosts," which was adapted into the film's tagline and song, which was "I ain't afraid of no ghosts." Aykroyd pitched his story to director and producer Ivan Reitman, who liked the basic idea, but immediately saw the budgetary impracticality of Aykroyd's first draft. Aykroyd and Ramis gave the story a major overhaul, writing the final screenplay during a 3-week stay in Martha's Vineyard's bomb shelter in May through June of 1982. Aykroyd and Ramis initially wrote roles especially for Belushi and John Candy. However, Belushi died before the screenplay was completed, and Candy would not commit to the project, so Aykroyd and Ramis made further changes that were reflected in the film's production. Candy would later appear in the music video for the film's theme song. Louis Tully was originally conceived as a conservative man in a business suit to be played by comedian Candy, but Rick Moranis instead portrayed Louis as a geek. Gozer originally appeared in the form of Ivo Shandor, a slender, unremarkable man in a suit, played by Paul Rubens, but in the final role it was played by Yugoslav model Slavica Jovan.
It's Gozer. I thought Gozer was a man. It's whatever it wants to be.
But whatever it is, it's got to get by us.
Right.
Go get her, Ray.
According to Ernie Hudson, an earlier version of the script had his character, Winston, in a larger role with an elaborate backstory as an Air Force demolitions expert. Excited to play the part, he agreed to do the job for half his usual salary. The night before shooting began, he was given a new script with a greatly reduced role. Reitman told him that the studio had wanted to expand Murray's role. In a 2015 article for Entertainment Weekly, Hudson wrote, "I love the character and he's got some great lines, but I felt the guy was just kind of there. I love the movie. I love the guys. I'm very thankful to Ivan for casting me. I'm very thankful that fans appreciate Winston's character, but it's always been very frustrating. Kind of a love-hate thing, I guess. Ghostbusters was released on June 8, 1984 in 1,339 theaters. It grossed $13.6 million on its opening weekend and $23 million in its first week, setting studio records at the time. The film was number 1 at the box office for 5 consecutive weeks, grossing $99.8 million. After 7 weeks, it was finally knocked to the number 2 position by Prince's film Purple Rain, at which point it had grossed $142.6 million, second only to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom as the year's top moneymaker. Remarkably, Ghostbusters then regained the top spot the next week, and again 6 weeks later. It went on to gross $229.2 million, making it the second highest grossing film of 1984, behind only Beverly Hills Cop. Adjusted for inflation, these figures put it within the top 40 highest grossing films of all time. Box Office Mojo estimates that the film sold over 68 million tickets in the US in its initial theatrical run. A 1985 re-release raised the film's United States gross to $238.6 million, that's $525 million in today's dollars, surpassing Beverly Hills Cop and making it the most successful comedy of the 1980s. Ghostbusters received favorable reviews from both critics and audiences and is considered by many as the best film of 1984. Film critic Roger Ebert gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4 and wrote, "This movie is an exception to the general rule that big special effects can wreck a comedy. Rarely has a movie this expensive provided so many quotable lines." In addition to being one of the greatest films of 1984, Ghostbusters is considered by fans and critics to be one of the best comedies of all time. The special effects, while dated, add to that nostalgia that helps make the film feel like you're a kid again. The film is considered to be a timeless comedy, meaning that no matter how old the movie gets or how much society has changed, the comedy still works wonderfully, which is very rare in that kind of genre. It's also considered to be Bill Murray's finest and most memorable role to date, as he truly is the heart and the comedic soul of Ghostbusters. Here's a look at some of Murray's best moments from the film.
Are you the Keymaster?
Yes. I'm a friend of his. He told me to meet him here. Just relax. Come on. Dana. Can I talk to Dana?
There is no Dana, only Soul.
What a lovely singing voice you must have.
It's right here, Ray. It's looking at me.
He's an ugly little spud, isn't he?
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Don't move. It won't hurt you.
What happened? Are you okay?
He slimed me.
That's great! Actual physical contact!
Got your stick? Oh! Beat him up!
Make him hard! Ready!
Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown.
What makes Ghostbusters such an iconic and memorable film is the fact that most of the dialogue between Murray, Aykroyd, and Ramis is all improvised and ad-libbed. Most of the scenes that were shot, minus the story beats, was comedic experimentation. Jokes were added and then taken out, and the actors just ran with whatever was coming out of their mouths, which today wouldn't really fly for a big motion picture. And to that extreme, it worked really well, and for these types of actors. Some fun facts to note. The opening scene in the film where the guys are tracking the librarian ghost was almost completely ad-libbed.
We've got to make contact. One of us should actually try to speak to it.
Good idea.
Hello. I'm Peter. Where are you from? Originally.
When the bookcase falls down, it wasn't supposed to. In fact, the bookcase fell down from the carelessness of a gaffer, and Murray ad-libbed the line,
This happened to you before? Huh. First time?
Also to note, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Goo was actually shaving cream. For the film, more than 50 gallons of shaving cream was dumped on Walter Peck, almost knocking him to the ground. And Slimer, the green blob that the Ghostbusters track down and catch, was modeled after fellow deceased actor John Belushi, in which Dan Aykroyd called Slimer the ghost of John Belushi. Slimer was the most notable of all the ghosts, and he became extremely popular with the fans. He was so popular, in fact, that he became the mascot for the Ghostbusters and appeared in the sequel, Ghostbusters 2, and also the animated television show. Slimer is also set to appear in the 2016 remake. Ghostbusters also has one of the most iconic and sing-along songs in cinema history. The Ghostbusters theme song was written by Ray Parker Jr. The film is a staple for cinema, and like John Williams' themes for Star Wars and Indiana Jones, this theme is closely identified with the brand that it's attached to. The success of Ghostbusters led to a sequel, which many laud as being uninteresting and not as funny in regards to the original, but the movie has its moments. However, Bill Murray hated the film and got as far away as he could from the Ghostbusters franchise because he thought the sequel was so despicable. Then the animated show came out in the late 80s, which was very popular, and the Halloween costumes and toys littered department stores because people clung hard for this type of brand and for good reason. Over the years, people have been clamoring for a Ghostbusters 3 film and a sequel to Ghostbusters 2. For over 15 years since Ghostbusters 2's release, Aykroyd has been working on scripts with writing partner Harold Ramis. Both men have been trying hard to get the third film made, but it just never happened. Also, Bill Murray had expressed that he didn't want to do another Ghostbusters film and thought the franchise should stay dead. What did happen, however, was the creation of a Ghostbusters video game, which was very popular, and all of the actors provided the voices for their characters. Then in 2013, Aykroyd said that Ghostbusters 3 was happening with all 3 original actors, but in February of 2014, one of the Ghostbusters, lead Harold Ramis, died tragically. Ramis's death was a major blow to the entertainment world, and it seemed to be the nail in the coffin for Ghostbusters 3. What did happen though in 2015, Ghostbusters was remade and rebranded with an all-female cast. The film, which comes out in July of 2016, stars Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones, Kate McKinnon, and Chris Hemsworth. Directed by comedy director Paul Feig, this new Ghostbusters reboot has been one of the most controversial films in recent memory. One, because the marketing campaign has been abysmal, and two, because it feels like the jokes are too on the nose, and the film feels no more than an SNL skit. Fans have been appalled by this film long before it even came out. And the original Ghostbusters cast, which cameo in the film, haven't seemed to have sold audiences on this remake. The weekend box office will be able to tell how the film does and what the critics and fans actually think of the movie. Ghostbusters is a franchise that's built on big laughs and timeless comedy. It's a beloved franchise that people hold near and dear to their hearts and don't want to see it tarnished. The perfect trio of Aykroyd and Ramis and Murray helped make Ghostbusters one of the best films of all time, as well as one of the funniest films ever made. Ghostbusters still scares up audiences today and keeps soaking up their taste buds with buckets of popcorn and green gooey slime. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the history and the legacy of Ghostbusters. It's one of my all-time favorite comedy films. If you like this video, click the like button over here, share it around with your friends, subscribe to this channel, and also check out our website, filmschoolhooligans.com, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.
Now stay close. Stay close. I know. Do exactly as I say. Get ready. Ready?
Get her!